It's difficult. You can't give career lifetime achievement contracts that everyone wants to every player. You just can't. And again, I feel like a broken record. This new CBA, look, this is going to bring me to an opinion, and we could talk about this down the line. He's earned this, right? But because of this new CBA, and I'll support either one, but he's got to pick one. Steph Curry is going to have a decision at some point. Does he want to make the most amount of money and maybe make it more difficult for him to win one in his twilight years and pull a Kobe and just have a retirement tour, which I'm here for. He's earned it. Like, he's deserved it. Or does he want to make a financial decision that will help him in terms of his career, accolades at the end of his career, where he takes less off top because of how prohibitive the CBA is, so they can get some help in here? Like, it's one or the other. And again, I will support either one. But if you take maximum money, all the money allowed, which you've earned, you're not allowed 3 years later or 2 years later to be angry at the situation. Like, where this is headed. The current CBA, if you're a player at 25 years old and you take up $75 million of the cap like Tatum's going to do over the life of his career, what comes with that. And so I think Steph's going to be facing this similar situation in a couple of years.
Well, it may face it after the All-Star break. It all depends on whether or not the Warriors are winning. And that's a situation we don't want to get into right now. We just do not want to do it. But here's what we're missing, man. I mean, the big three and what they accomplished together. Truly, truly special stuff. 720 games played together. 420 regular season wins. 98 playoff wins. 23 playoff series wins. 6 finals appearances. And 4 NBA championships. And up until they lost that series against the LA Lakers 2 seasons ago, they had not lost the Western Conference Series. I know they lost a play-in game. That's one game. It's a do-or-die game. They had not lost the best of 7 in the West when healthy under Steve Kerr. A decade of dominance in one conference. I don't think we're ever going to see that ever again with this new CBA.
In the West as a trio, even though I guess the first one, Dre wasn't as impactful, they lost to the Spurs, the Clippers the following year in the first round, and then the Lakers. That's it.
That's it.
In the Western Conference. That's crazy.
That's it.
Wow.
The baby Dubs.
Wow.
Baby Dubs. Baby Dubs. Just hope Steph Curry doesn't want to leave and ring chase. He's well within his right. He's well within his right. What Steph Curry's done for this organization, if Steph Curry said, I want it out, and I don't think that's happening. I've heard nothing about that. But you never know. You never know what could happen down the line.
Like, for example, if Klay knew what he knows now, does he look at the 2 for 48 differently? But in real time, he's saying to himself, I deserve more, maybe annually. I deserve more years, whatever. Now knowing what we know, like, again, like someone, I'm just trying to think of some of the other guys that are out there. If Malik Monk knew what he knew now, would he have taken an extension a year ago where he gets a couple of extra $1 million? We don't know.
Well, also, too, Steph Curry, a guy like Klay Thompson, right? He's already made all the money because I keep hearing this. He got paid all the money. He's made all this money. He made all this money. All right. So if that's the case, if it is about that money, because 2 for 48 was there, I'm sure at the end of the day, Klay was like, you know what? I want happiness. He touched on it in Draymond Green's podcast. He goes, look, man, I would love if we could get that sound, Spadoni. Klay was talking about his mental health. And obviously mental health is huge to him. And it's been prevalent in sports now. DeMar DeRozan's talked about mental health. Kevin Love's talked about mental health. Hell, I go to a therapist. I mean, I've done it my whole life. I've been going to therapy off and on since I was 10 years old. It happens. Mental health is a huge, huge deal in today's day and age with social media. And Klay's touched on it. And obviously mental health matters to him. That fresh start. I don't know if that same offer was on the table, 2 for 48 this offseason, after the year that he just had and the way the year played out with the Golden State Warriors, I'm not sure he signs that. I'm not sure he signs that deal. I really don't know. I think the guy needed a fresh start. He was hinting at that over the last 3 months of the season. I think we saw the tea leaves here that Klay Thompson was looking like, hey, look, I would love to stay here. I would love to finish my career here, but I got to do what's best for me and my mental health. He said that over and over. Over and over. And
I can't quantify what's, how he's feeling or whatever. It did feel like he was not that he was gunning for it, but it felt like he was trying to earn it and prove it all year. And, maybe he relaxes if he has some sort of an extension and things play out differently. I don't have the multiverse, knowledge to know how that plays out.
Maybe. Let's go to Heather from the Santa Clara Hilton. Oh, that's Heather from the Santa Clara Hilton with her two beautiful daughters. What's up, Heather?
Hey, I'm just, emotionally hungover from yesterday. But when it comes to Klay, these past few months, I think I went through the 5 stages of grief, when this first came up with Klay potentially not being with the Warriors. I was in denial. Then I went through anger and bargaining. And right now I think I'm in between depression and acceptance, because selfishly, as a Dubs fan, he gave us the highest of highs. But he also, I'm just happy for him. He's a legend in the Warriors organization. So whatever process he went through to get to this decision, and if this is best for him, so be it. But as a Dubs fan, if it will take a few years of rebuilding, then I'm okay with that, because my fandom didn't start this last decade. Guys, I came out of my mom screaming 3 for 3. So ride or die, always for the Dubs. I will say, though, I wouldn't want to be the one who breaks it to Cannon Curry. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Cannon Curry's going to miss Klay. Let me ask you this, because I see a lot of men. Draymond's more valuable than Klay Thompson at this point, and we don't know what's going on with Andrew Wiggins. Draymond's making $25 a year. Klay's going to make about $16.5 a year. Is Draymond $8.5 million better than Klay Thompson?
What do you think I'm going to say?
No, sir. No, it's not even just hating. Not even just hating. I'm not even just trying to have a conversation.
No,
I was thinking about this last night. Everybody says, well, Draymond's more valuable than Klay Thompson on this team. Well, we know about the offensive inefficiencies of a Draymond Green. Is this defense that much better to offset anything that Klay Thompson does?
How many guys?
$8.5, $9 million better than Klay?
How many guys right now in the open market, how many guys have been acquired at premium dollar for defense? The NBA does not pay. Look, it's valuable, right? Defense is extremely valuable, but it's not something we pay for. We just don't. Very few teams prioritize defense financially. We don't quantify it in these contracts. For example, Paul George. His decline defensively isn't spoken about. What do we talk about?
His
offensive production, right? That's what this league is. Look at Rudy Gobert. He is a defensive first player. What does everyone in the league say about him?
He gets played off the floor.
And he's
overrated.
And he's overpaid. Right? Does everyone not think that?
Yep. The poll said everybody. Okay. And this whole thing that defense. Minnesota had the best defense in the league. What happened in the last 7 games of their season?
Yes.
Or last 8 games of their season? They got torched. And Rudy Gobert got played off the floor. So defense. I think like Boston played great defense on Dallas.
They played Tatum at the 5.
But really, it was Dallas's lack of firepower outside of Kyrie and Luka that did them in. You need to get bucket getters in the league.
No question. So you're asking me, do I think that Draymond Green is $8 million better than Klay Thompson currently? I don't know, but I would say this. I didn't think Draymond Green was worth a 4-year deal, to your point. Was he worth 1, 2, 3 in that range? Sure, depending on the money. Did I think he was $25 million a year? No. I didn't. Yep. That's me. Now, again, everyone thinks I'm crazy and I've been a Draymond hater forever. No, I think he's an important, good player, but I think that all the things he brings to the table, people forget to quantify the things he doesn't bring to the table. Offensively, he plays point guard. That's what he does. His assist-to-turnover ratio for a point guard is not great. Chris Paul has a great assist-to-turnover ratio as a point guard, okay? Chris Paul also shoots the 3. But I'm just using him as an example because he played with this team. Shoots the 3 better than he does. Draymond's an unwilling shooter, so they compromises you offensively when it comes to spacing, which no one wants to acknowledge. Is he a great defender? Yeah, he is. Actually, though, he's not the greatest on-ball defender that he was 6 years ago. He's more of a help defender. So now I am prioritizing a center. So now we're going down the list of he's valuable, but to me his value, and if we're just quantifying it, I thought his value was between 14 and about $21 million for a 2 or 3 year deal. I did not think he was 4 for 100. Now, am I splitting hairs? Yeah, because the new CBA is very difficult to navigate when you overpay someone by even $5 million.
There you go. And so for all the people that say, no, Draymond's more valuable than Klay, Klay's washed. Klay's a bench player. Well, Klay Thompson is a bench player last year, folks, for the people who say Klay's washed. And if he does come off the bench with Dallas, because it's possible, Jason Kidd will change his lineups left and right. And I think Klay understands, like, hey, Chris Paul came off the bench with us. I go to a new team. Yeah. I'm the new guy here. Well, Klay Thompson came off the bench in 14 games. And this is just a small sample size. But the future looks bright if Klay Thompson does want to come off the bench, because in 27 minutes off the bench, folks, and you could go look at the game logs and say, well, you played against crappy teams in second units. Well, do the same thing in Dallas, right? You got the same schedule that everybody else does in the NBA. You may play one team 3 times, one team 4 times. It flip-flops. Who knows? But in 14 games off the bench, Klay Thompson, 46% from the floor, 43% from 3, 20 points a game in just 27 minutes of action. Be careful what you wish for. Well, because he could come off that bench and detonate in a heartbeat for the Dallas Mavericks.
So there's a lot
that's not washed to me.
There's a lot that's been made about how he's ended the season the last 2 years, Klay Thompson, which is fair. Like that, he did. Yeah. He ended the season in the playing game poorly, and the
Lakers series the last 4 games against the Lakers, he shot under 25%. But couldn't I make
an argument that Draymond Green? And again, I'm not picking between them, but if we're going to split hairs and kick Klay on the way out the door, and again, I've been a critic of Klay's play, of his play. I've been a critic of it. Draymond Green was awful in the Kings series after getting suspended, was he not?
He had a really good game 4 off the bench. He almost dropped a triple-double. And no, that's not fair. In game 5, he did score 21 points in game 5, which is huge in Sacramento. You said he didn't have a good game in the series. I got to be fair here.
He also was part of the reason why they built a big hole. And I thought Looney was as effective as him against Sabonis in that series. He was solid. You go to the Lakers series. Let's go to the Lakers series. Anthony Davis was able to play 700 yards away from Draymond Green the entire series. Why is that? Because Dre can't shoot. And as bad as Klay was bad. Their offense was compromised equally, not just by bad shooting, but by Draymond Green getting sagged off of by Anthony Davis, who was the MVP defensively of that series, right? So, but no one brings that up. Well, then I go to the play-in game this year. Dre was non-existent. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't bring value. He brings value. But if you're going to cherry pick the end of the season and kick Klay on the way out the door, it's not like Draymond was a world beater either in the last couple of series.
No, he wasn't. And not to mention Andrew Wiggins, who also gets paid. What about Andrew Wiggins?
Well,
he's not homegrown. I know he's not homegrown.
Come on.
But come on, man. Come on.
You ever seen the Liam Neeson movie Taken? That's what happened. I don't know what happened to his soul.
That's why I understand if Klay comes into a situation and we can say, you should have took the 2 for 40 or 2 for 48. And you look around saying, man, I've played in every game. I played the most postseason minutes in a championship season, coming back after missing 941 days, and I get a 2-year deal as opposed to a 4-year deal. Now, I'm going to take it from the other side here. I want to make sure I'm clear. From the Golden State Warriors standpoint, I understand it. I understand why you would offer a 2-year deal, because you had an eye on the CBA, and you're saying, boy, if we do 3 years, we're going to continue to be in the tax. I'm not sure that's smart. The Warriors have to protect themselves. And by the way, we just had the most expensive roster in basketball, and we didn't even make the playoffs. So from the Warriors standpoint, I understand completely where they're coming from. That's why I think it's good for both sides to just move on.
Well, the other part of this is that I look around at like this, because you're talking about value, just comparing Dre to Klay, just the two of them. It's really hard to find somebody like Draymond Green to step up in the role that he's in as facilitator and as a defensive player. I'm not saying Pods outplayed Klay. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that the Warriors are saying to themselves, can some combination of Melton, who they brought in, Moses Moody, who I'm assuming they're going to keep, and Podziemski offset the things that Klay is bringing to the table, and then maybe add a little more to the table?
Well, that's that leap.
That's that. I think they think that. I mean, we will see if that plays out.
You know what? To be honest with you, I want to see it. I'm here for a little bit of a change. I'm here for a little bit of a shakeup, because things did get stale with this offense, and things did get stale with the Golden State Warriors, and he didn't make the playoffs. After losing in the second round, coming off the championship season, and then not making the playoffs, I'm ready for some change. Unfortunately, it comes at Klay's expense, but honestly, I'm ready to see something different. I'm ready to see Jonathan Kuminga evolve, or see if we got a player here. Do we got a future All-Star in Kuminga? We've been waiting. Moses Moody has waited and been patient and been a great soldier for the Golden State Warriors and been nothing but professional despite seeing guys play above him, despite seeing guys get more shine.
Pods came in and took his role.
I want to see Moody get an opportunity to shine. Can he do it? That's one thing. But I'm excited. That does excite me a little bit. Let's go to